Hello, my name's Bob, and I'm here to talk about an interesting idea I have in terms of coffee beans and smoking a pipe. By the way, it's Bob with one O. When I was very, very young, my older brother told me, or taught me how to spell my name. And it wasn't until quite a bit later that my mother said that Bob only had one O. I got back at him later, though. For some reason, my wife and I tend to collect a lot of stray cats. And every once in a while, we'd pawn one of the cats off on my brother and his wife. And the cat invariably would get sick, and they'd spend thousands of dollars fixing up these cats. So I guess we're even. Okay. Now, some of you guys may have looked around and see and realize that I'm sitting in the back of my garage. And for you guys who strut around the house with your pipes and cigars and cigarettes must think, wow, is that guy henpecked? And what can I say except, yes. Long ago, when I was first married, God, it seems like 100 years, my father took me aside and said, you know, Bob, he got my name right, Bob, there are 3 words for a successful marriage. And I said, oh, I know, Dad, it's I love you. You're supposed to say that a lot. And he said, no, no, son, the 3 words are, I'm sorry, dear. And you could even shorten it to, yes, dear. And I've lived by those words for a long, long time. I found that there might be a difference, however, between a long marriage and a successful marriage, but I won't go there. There's a slight chance my wife might see this video. I doubt it. She's even less computer savvy than I am. I have learned, however, that when I set out to do something, I'm pretty good at it. And I certainly have gotten good at compromising. Much better than my wife. That's why I'm sitting in the back of my garage. All right, back to the subject at hand. Coffee beans and pipe smoking. You might be interested to know that I roast my own coffee beans. I have one of those whirly pop things, you know, for popcorn, you crank it. So I just put the green coffee beans in, and 5 or 6 minutes later, you've got roasted coffee. But I'm not here to talk about that. There are plenty of sites on the internet that go into that sort of thing. Isn't the internet wonderful? You know, I've only recently clombed onto this YouTube thing, and it's amazing. Thousands and thousands of people making absolute fools out of themselves, as I am now. I don't know if it's an argument for democracy or against democracy. In any case, we certainly have Al Gore to thank for that. As you know, Al Gore invented the internet, and then a few years later, he invented the environment. And in fact, I do feel guilty puffing away on a pipe and polluting the air with all that pipe smoke. But frankly, I'm getting a little tired of all these rules and regulations, what you should do and what you shouldn't do. Last summer, I heard that firing up my charcoal barbecue pit causes air pollution. Well, as far as I'm concerned, if the politicians would shut up with all their hot air, they could do a lot to prevent global warming. Speaking of pipes and the internet, which I think we were, as I remember, as I look around the internet, I am amazed to see how many women now are smoking pipes. And I think that's a great, great advance. As you know, pipe smoking has been going on for centuries and centuries. It was the most common way of smoking tobacco until the pre-rolled cigarettes came into being. And I'm sure for much of that time women were smoking pipes. They were just doing it in secret, in the closet, so to speak. And I'm glad now they're coming out of the closet. I certainly wouldn't want to smoke in the closet. My wife would kill me if I did. Although, actually, she might like it because she'd give her an excuse to buy all sorts of new clothes. Okay. So anyway, you got your beans, you got your pipe. Now don't use one of your $500 Dunhill pipes for this. You don't need to. It's no problem with me because I don't have any. Having a $500 Dunhill pipe sitting in the back of my garage seems a little silly. It'd be sort of like buying a Ferrari and going to the supermarket in it. So any old pipe will do. In fact, looking around the YouTube site here, I see that some people are smoking apples, taking an apple and making a smoking thing out of it. They all seem pretty young, and I'm not sure they were smoking tobacco. I have an idea they might not be. Okay. Speaking of kids, have you ever noticed, I don't know if you're in the same situation I am, but when the kids grow up and leave, they don't take their junk with them. They haven't heard the expression, never leave home without it, I guess. So the garage looks like a mini Costco here. I do have to thank my son who came back over Christmas and organized everything. Now I have rows and rows of bins and shelves. I look like a miniature Costco. And I finally now have space so I can sit back in the back of the garage and smoke my pipe, which I hadn't done for about 10 years. The fact that my son is a doctor may not please him too much that I'm smoking my pipe. Yeah, but I've seen him light up a cigar or two in his time, so I guess he can't complain too much. So what you do is, you take the coffee beans, and you get your pipe. Uh-oh. I think my wife's coming home. Oh man, am I in deep doo-doo. I'm the cook in the house, and I'm supposed to have dinner ready when she gets home. She's working late. I'm doing a fancy dish tonight, roasted capon, and it's going to be late. I'm really in for it now. So I got to go. I'll have to make this a two-part series, I guess. So I'll see you next time, I hope. If you read about an old man dying in a smoky garage, then I probably won't be back. But I'll do my best. When you think about it, there's probably a lot of similarity between that roasted capon and me, if you get my drift. See you later, I hope.